Hi and welcome to Azimotion. So today we are going to start something new, which is a game. So I'm going to create a new game from scratch along with you. So I will explain every bit and piece of the process. So this will be like tutorial plus and a devlog. So as a start, the type of game that I'm going to create is can be categorized as third person RPG adventure type of a game. So it will have some story to it and some game mechanics to it. And as you can see, I have already like created some mockups so I can understand the theme and the mood that I am aiming for. So here are some images that I took from Pinterest. So my character will have this weapon staff. So let's say I don't have much idea right now, but so this is something that I'm aiming into. So I'll have some contour type style thing and like stuff, melee action, some environment. Yeah, this is the basic idea that I have sketched up to now. So let's see during this journey what this game will evolve into. So you will see how it will evolve, and if you have any questions you can put it in the comment section. If you have suggestions you can put them in the comment section as well. So without further ado, let's jump into like creating an Unreal project and start with the game dev process. Okay. Yeah, so I hope you all have downloaded the latest Unreal version. So this is the version that I'm currently in, the current latest version, which is 4.25.1. So let's launch. So when you like launch the engine in the editor, you will get this window. So in order to create a game, you can select the games. So recently, I think after Unreal 4.24, they have released like different industrial aspects to when creating a project. So let's create a game. Okay, I'm gonna create a blank project. Okay, and I'm gonna select C++ project, but I'll be using both C++ and Blueprint inside my project whenever I need. So you will learn some C++ as well. So it's not hard. So let's see what will happen. Most of the time it will be blueprints, but when we need plugins and kind of stuff, we'll get use of them because some of the features that I've given in Unreal is not accessible directly through blueprints, so we'll have to open those functions to blueprints. We'll start it like this, but anyway, we can either start from one of these and start as a blueprint project, then we can add C++ files, so it's all same. So I'll keep other settings as this, no starter content, quality to this. So I'm gonna select my project location, which is Azimotion, and I'm gonna name this, as you already have seen, project name as Azimotion. Okay, Azimotion. All right. Let's create the project. So I think we have an untitled level. So the very first thing that I usually do is like create folder hierarchy, the basic folder hierarchy. So I'm I'm gonna create a new folder called a sim because I want these names to be short as possible. I need compiling. So sometimes if the path is long, it gives error. So some meaningful short names. Maps. So now I can save this untitled map as, yeah, let's name this dev map A. Yeah, we will test everything, test every functionality of the game. Yeah, now we have dev map. The next thing we'll need is like intro map. So that's a map where our main menu is going to be located on. So if you look at my UI mockup, so this will be our main menu. So I'm not gonna like design every element of this image, but the basics, place this text and create some small menu so we can like load this map. So if we hit play now, we don't have anything. It's a empty map with like default spectator pawn. So where that is why you can move when you hit play. So what we can do is like we can add a character. So to get a character, if you haven't started as a third person project, you can add a new feature or content pack. I'm gonna add blueprint feature, which is third person. I'm gonna add that to the project. So now you have under the content, you have your Azim folder separately, and you have these folders, these new folders. So then you add that. So as you can see, there's something called third person character. So we can drag it here, or we can add a game mode to this level. So that we can do using world settings. If the world setting is not showing in your project, you can enable that by going to window and world settings. It will enable here. So we can add the game mode. So since we have added the content pack, we have now this third person game mode comes with that pack. Let's add that one. Save this. Now if you say play this now, you have a character. So that is because we have added that game mode. So inside the game mode, we have this player state, player controllers, what is our pawn class. So I'll be explaining these gameplay framework elements in a later video, probably next one or the video after that. Some theoretical background on Unreal Engine gameplay framework, so then it will be easier for you to understand what I'm doing here. Okay, now that we have added the game mode to our project, if we launch the game as a stand-alone game, which execute this game as a separate executable, it will show you how the exact game is going to open. So it will take some time as well. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You have a black screen, and that's it. So the reason, yeah, it took some like time to load, right? And then it just pop into the like main window, main game, which is where our player is. So now we have two problems. One is like we have like some kind of a loading time with black screen, and our game just go into the game without going into a menu or any other thing. So let's try to solve those two problems and finish our first episode of this journey. So let me like explain how to add like a intro video, or like in a normal game you have a like a separate intro video, right? Or set of videos or set of animations kind of things. So I'm gonna add some of add few animations that I have downloaded and created. So this you may have seen, which is Unreal Engine default animation I download from internet, and a separate animation that I have created using Blender. So we can add these two animations in the beginning of the game. So to do that, you can go into edit, project settings, and now you have these panels. Under that you have something called movies. So in here we can add a set of startup movies. Okay, so I can add two. Before adding them into here, I'm gonna go into my project folder and create a new folder called movies here. Okay, now that I have the movies folder with me, let me copy these two videos into the folder that I have just created. Okay. So after copying that, now you can go into project settings. If you closely look, now you have a movies directory, and here I can add startup movies, right? I'm gonna give UFO logo first, then the game logo that I created using Blender. If you need files, Blender files that I have created, so I can add them up in the link. So let me in the comments, so I'll add them in the links to get these Blender files, so you can generate your own logo animation. Okay, so we can have these two options. So wait for movies to complete, so let's tick that, because I want my movies to end before the actual game loads up. So why we do this is like, why the games are doing this is like, usually games are taking time to load in the background. So while that loading, these videos will separately loading in another thread, and like give time the game to load up. So that is another reason for doing this. Okay, so now if we hit play, not in the editor preview mode, but as a standalone game, we should see our videos. Let's see what will happen. Okay, the game is loading up. Okay, now we have the game with two initial intro videos. So you can add any number of videos that you like. So if you have some branding information, you can add them as well. Okay. Now the next step is to create a main menu, right? So to do that, I'm going to create a new level. So I'm going to name this as main menu. Main menu. Okay. So it will look like this as a empty level. It doesn't matter, so because we are going to load up 2D UI into this. Okay, so now we have created the intro level, the main menu level. Okay, the next thing that we need is like UI elements to load. So go to user interface, select. Before doing that, let's create a directory called UI. So I'm gonna add user interface, widget blueprint, main menu. Okay, so this is Unreal UMG editor. So let's quickly add the text and just type text and you will get this and drag and drop it. So I'm gonna anchor this into the center. 0, 0 here, 0.5 here, 0.5. Okay, now everything is in the center. So I'm gonna rename this text as main menu. Okay, now that we have a small main menu like UI, now let's increase the font size as well. Okay, 50. All right. Make these zeros. All right. Let's close this. Now that we have main menu, so now we need to add this main menu into this as an overlay of this level. So to do that, we can go to blueprint, open level blueprint. So this will open the level blueprint of this main menu level. So in there you can see event begin play and event peak. So I'm gonna create a widget, create widget, and attach this link into here. I'm gonna select main menu widget. Get controller. I'm gonna get the player controller, and let's add this to it. To viewport. So this is the widget. So now I'm gonna set input mode UI only. So I'm gonna need a player controller. Let's hook it here. And so to like, we can just drag this widget into here, or to make it more cleaner, we can add a reroute node, reroute, and drag it here. Okay, now it's a bit clean, I suppose. Yep. You can align these. You select multiple widget blueprints, you can align. You have this alignment. So I just previously I pressed Q to align, straighten the connections. So you can apply them and like organize these blueprints really well. Okay. So UI mode only. Main menu. Alright. Let's see what will happen. Play. Now we just pop into the main menu. Okay. So now we can't do anything, like we can't go into the game, or the mouse cursor doesn't show in the main menu. So we have now more problems. So let's solve them. Before that, since we have opened this level, we can go into this, but when we open this level again, so it opens in that. So always try to open this in the main menu map. So we should tell that to the project as well. So this will help when we try to package. So our editor entry map should be main menu, and the game default map, this will be the packaging setting that we will in. So we should put that as main menu as well. So when we hit play, it will automatically get those two maps. So, yeah, when we package, so that is something important. Okay. Now the UI, we can do some improvements to the UI. To the UI actually, level blueprint. main menu level. This is the main menu widget. Okay, so we need to show the cursor. So to do that, we let's set this to add show set show mask. So you can enable this and then we play the mouse cursor. You see, okay, you can organize this by adding a comment and by pressing C. All right, now this clean. Now what we can do is, now when we hit play, we don't have any buttons or anything in the main menu, so we can add some buttons in the main menu and tell those buttons to open another level, or the level that we have created, which is the dev1 A, right? So since we have opened the widget blueprint, we can add some buttons. Before adding buttons, so since we have created some guide to create the main menu, so let's create something similar to that. Okay, I need to have like 3 buttons: start, new, continue, options. So for now we can just only add start new, but let's add 3 and give the functionality to start new, because we don't have any save game functionalities right now. But let's see what we have here. Okay, we can add a vertical box which is going to hold our buttons. So it is going to be here. So since our style says it should be in the left bottom corner, let's add it there. Go into the project, vertical box. So we are going to align this into this corner and set this to 0. Let's give this to 1.1, 11.1, just 1.1. Okay, now we can let's add a few buttons. But we can rename this button. start new button. So we can't see any text here, so let's add the text to this button as well. Yeah, so we can change the font of this button, change the text at least. Start new. Right. Now let's reduce this font size to 20. Okay. Now that we have button, let's duplicate this by pressing Ctrl W. We can rename this continue button. Okay. Okay. Let's add another button as well. So what is options? Let's change the text to options as well. Change. It should be full caps. Okay. Now that we have a vertical box, we should expand this a bit. Okay. So let's add this button function. Now that we have a set of buttons, we don't need this text, so let's delete that. Now we have a clean main menu. Let's add some functionality to this button. Start new button. When you select and go into this page, you can see on click there are a set of event on click, on press, on release. So I'm going to select on click. So now we can open up a level using that button click, like open level. So but let's do it in this way. The map name is demo. Let's copy that and paste here. Let's hit play and see what will happen. Now you have a start new, continue, and options button. Let's hit start new. The game comes, but like you can't interact with it. So what should we do? I think we should give the control to the game without giving the control to the UI. So let's clean up all the like widgets because we were in the main menu. Clean or remove all widgets. Okay. Open the level name, and then let's get game controller, get player controller, and put mod game only. And hide mouse. Let's play and see. Let's start new. Yeah, now we have the controller. Okay, let's comment these as well. Load map. Okay, there's another thing, like when you hit play, start new, and we cannot go back into the main menu. So when you hit escape, it will go. So in the editor, when you escape, it will close the window. So let's try to add some functionality to that. Since now we are in the demo page, let's go to level blueprints and add some key event. Then press so these things usually we don't add in the level blueprint answer unless it is the main menu or intro map. But for now, let's add it here, because in order to get full understanding about that, we will need to have some idea about the basic gameplay framework. So since this is the first tutorial, so let's add it here. Let's try and play this. Now that we are in the dev map, it will start here. Start new. It just closes, so we can add another button to that. We can add, let's add tab for now. So open level blueprint. Tab. it goes into the yeah, it works like that. We can go here and come back to the main menu by pressing tab. Okay, so okay, now that we have created our main menu, uh, so let's add some style to it. So these we just have the default buttons. So for at least this button text or something, we can add some style. So one thing to add style is one way to add style is to add a font to this text. So let's create a font folder here. Font, and I can create a new font family actually using this font. I have downloaded this font called Just. I'm gonna name it as that, and we can add a font family by going into Azimotion shows. Oh, this is the font. So I'm gonna just add regular. Can save it. Add another one. Just bold. Let's add this thing font as well. Okay. Now we have this Just font family with 3 font weights. So can go back into our main menu and change the font here. Yeah, just can select the bold one. Yeah, so we can copy these font details into other things as yeah. Now let's add some style settings to these buttons. So I'm gonna these fonts are somewhat large in the height, and so let's change margin value. Stop. -5, bottom -5, 5. So now we have this compact kind of a look. So we can copy that too. and we can add some space in between these menus by adding space. Yeah. Since we only have like 3, so this, yeah, we can like change the background color as well. Let's make it somewhat darker. Okay, we can copy that as a copy, paste, paste. All right, so let's hit play and see what is. So we can go into the map and see. Yeah, and we need it back tab. It goes back. Okay, so let's move this menu to change some alignments for so for the main menu we can add a small background as well. So let's add some background. So I have already created some background. So let's add this. So to add this I have to add we can add UI like resources. Its name is this. We can add this into here, and now it's import. So we can add overlay. Or we can wrap it. Can add a border actually. We can add the image here. we just added 2 here, so let's remove that. Can add a border to the whole right. Now we have white background, so you can select the border and then add the main menu. Yeah, now we have this background, so let's replay. Yeah, start new tab, tab. So I think that is enough for the as the first tutorial. So I just went with the time, and yeah, it's like near 1 hour. So let's finish this in this stage so we can hit play and see what we achieved so far. So in the next episodes we will be looking into like creating more UI elements properly, as well as adding characters on custom characters and creating environments, and then we will start to like adding actual gameplay mechanics. So we will be like parallelly develop these cosmetics kind of UIs as well as our gameplay mechanics and the style in the same way. So it will be an interesting journey. So let's see what will happen. I still don't have any clue about what is going to happen. So give your suggestions, put them in the comment section. So let's hit play and see the progress we have. Yeah, now we have a game level basic setup, and we can go back into the main menu by pressing tab, and we haven't like introduced these functionalities yet. So yeah, that is the end of the tutorial. So let's meet in another tutorial with more progress. So please subscribe and join with me in this journey. So see you guys.